Alrighty, what's going on guys? It is Mitch. This is going to be a quick little video of showing how to install a locker onto your front diff. You would have seen me remove the diff center from the actual diff housing. That will be different, if you have a solid axle or IFS vehicle. But alright, so the install starts by removing these two U-clamps that hold the whole diff assembly together. Keep in mind that this is just an installation of the actual locker assembly. It's not an instructional video on how to take apart your diff. Obviously each car is different. So keep that in mind when you're watching me take apart mine. But after these retainers are out, you can then slide the center out of the actual housing. Go ahead and just give the whole thing a good clean down, get all the oil off it, just makes the whole job a bit easier, and just do a quick check over the ring gear, just make sure that all the teeth are all good and in good condition. It's also very vital to make sure that you leave a line or a mark just so that you know where the ring gear sits in the whole assembly. It is important that these two go back together exactly how they came off. And once that's done, you can start using a hammer and a chisel, or in my case, an old screwdriver, and start bending those retainers apart in order to get the bolts out. It is advised to replace these retainers after removing them because obviously you bend the metal and it becomes brittle. I didn't have any replacements and none of mine broke, so luckily I was able to reuse them, but definitely next time I'm gonna get new retainers because these ones they're probably getting pretty past their use by date. With a few firm hits from a rubber mallet or a few soft taps from a regular hammer, go around the ring gear in a circle motion and you'll be able to knock the whole thing loose and it'll slide right down. In order to get the gears out, we need to remove the center pin, and that is done by removing another pin. So you're going to find that there's a little hole punched in, and in there is a pin that holds the center pin in. So grab a screwdriver or a little punch and drive that pin out, and then that way the whole assembly will be free to come apart. Once that center pin is out, you can then remove the spider gears, and this is done by rotating the gear set so that you can get one of the side gears out, then you can get the other side gear out, and then the top falls down, and then the bottom one will just lift out as well. And it is important on the bottom and top gears that you keep the thrust washers. These are going to be used for the installation of your locker, and they're not provided in the kit. They can be a real pain to remove due to the oil that sort of suctions them on, but dry it up with a bit of a paper towel and you'll be able to pry them off. This is how I personally installed my locker. This is how I found worked, so follow along with me if you want to in this order. Obviously there's different ways to do it. You can try to assemble it in different orders, but this is just what worked for me. In order to get that last piece of the locker in, I needed to give it one or two little love taps with the hammer, but it slid right in place and we were good to install the pins and the springs. The pins and the springs may be the most frustrating part of the whole installation, but keep at it, you'll be able to get them in and it'll all be worth it. I had to give my pins one or two taps just to help them sit in place, but after that they slid straight down into the hole and I was able to move on to the springs. The best way I found to install the springs was to get some sort of a flathead screwdriver, place the top of the spring at the top, compress the spring, push it in and let it go, and it will release in place. All you have to do now is repeat this 4 times and then put the whole thing back together. If you are having troubles getting the ring gear to sit properly like me, what you can do is slide it all the way up as far as you can and then try and get some of those bolts to reach, and if you can get a bolt at each end, drive that thing home and it'll suck the ring gear in and it'll sit it to where it needs to sit properly. Then you can take those bolts out, sit the retainers in and put all of the bolts back in. Refer to your owner's manual or just look it up online to find the torque specs that you need to torque these bolts down. I decided to actually do it properly for once, so I grabbed the torque wrench and torqued them up to spec. Finally hammer those retaining pins back in place and it's time to start assembly. As long as you have everything laid out where you took it apart, then it's as simple as putting the pieces back together, bolting it up, and then fitting it to your car. I really hope this video has helped. I'm not normally the best at doing instructional videos, but I put up on Instagram that I had a locker and a few people asked, and so I wanted to be able to help out. So again, I hope this has helped. It's really can be a daunting task, but it's not that bad. And I encourage you to go out and have a crack at it. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Leave a like and stay tuned for upcoming test videos.